Pray for a call for an uprising. What's up with him? Yeah, he's talking about taking his uprising to the streets. Eh? I seen his most recent video there. Oh my goodness. Is that why you're saying pray for him? Because he's like trying to start a revolution? Yeah, he swears, he's angry. I know. Yeah, and what's with this there? Yo, people are sending me this video about the Jesus guy as if I'm going to make a video hating on him. The guy's down in a custody battle. I don't care if he's an unbeliever. And I don't care if he's blasphemed the Lord. And I don't care if he's blasphemed the Lord. And I don't care if he's blasphemed the Lord. You don't kick someone when they're down. You don't take advantage of them when they're having personal problems to beat them down. That's when they need our love. That's when we're supposed to love our enemies, okay? Man. Hey, Vaddy. Hey, sorry to hear that. I actually, I'm going to do a video on psychic, so maybe you could use that soon. So stay tuned. I'm actually, I wanted to make a video about this Jesus dude and love on him and reach out to him. This is the opportunity when he is down and out that we rise up and show love. That's what he needs to see. You think it's going to help him come to the Lord Jesus when he's down, when he's hurt in life? His kids are being taken from him. That's what's happening to the poor guy. Kids are being taken from him. And while he's down and out, we're gonna come and stomp him out. That's Christian. You know, you got to be careful. I think some of you think that you know the expression "don't be lukewarm." Well, being hot for the Lord has nothing to do with being enraged and angry at the wicked all the time and swearing and wanting to fight them. That's not being on fire for the Lord. That's not being hot for the Lord. That's actually, in fact, being cold for the Lord. When you operate in hate, you're not hot for him. You're cold for him. Wake up. See, Peter, he's a badass. What are we? See, this is the thing. There's carnal Christians following him. I mean, you can keep Peter in here. It's fine. I don't mind. But you know, those of you that like him are very carnal. You're being pulled into his carnality. Oh, he's a badass. He swears. What? You think Christians are supposed to operate like that? You really think so? Come on. He's a bad example of what it is to follow Jesus. Yeah, I'll admit that. He's a bad example of what it is to follow Jesus. Yeah, I'll admit that.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Well, as you can see from the title, Mario, the vigilant Christian, is at it again. Oh, I'm a bad example of being a follower of Christ. I'm a bad example. So what's this, Mario? If I'm a bad example because I get upset when someone dresses up and pretends to be Jesus, what kind of an example are you when you minister to kids and you're sending out disturbing conversations, which, yeah, those are private things, but clearly you've got problems because in your conversations that have now leaked online, you have photographs of your male friends naked on your phone and you're showing girls their penises. And then you're saying stuff like, you want to share with your friend. That would be considered gay. That would be considered sodomy. And you shouldn't be ministering to kids, let alone on here preaching like you know, like you have a clue about the fruits when you don't got a damn fruit on your tree. When you got on your tree, people would say, oh, you got rotten fruit? I don't even think you got rotten fruit. I don't even think you got a tree at this point. He didn't learn his lesson last time. For those of you who don't know, when I first started my channel, Mario would make videos all the time about me, thus giving the impression to people out there that we were friends and buddies. And what he was really trying to do was buddy up with somebody who was becoming popular because Mario's channel was dying off and people were realizing who Mario really was. And it's just gotten worse and worse. Now Mario's channel is pretty much dead, okay? But Mario is running his mouth in light of so many things that are surrounding him right now, which you will not even believe some of the stuff this guy's up to. When he calls you people who follow my channel not real Christians.
Let me explain something to you guys. This is where many of you have lost your way. Back in Jesus's time, okay? Back in Jesus's day, the government was corrupt. Rome was corrupt, right? And Rome enslaved the Jews. Now, there was a sect of Christians among this group, okay, called the Zealots. And the Zealots, in fact, I believe one or two of the disciples were Zealots, but converted Zealots. The Zealots were expecting Jesus to come back as a political leader. And they did not understand Jesus's mission. They were trying to uprise against the Roman government. When Jesus came and died on a cross and laid his life down, they were upset. They were like, what is going on? Here's the best illustration. Some of you have become zealots and you've lost your way. This is a zealot over here. I don't know if I can get that to focus. You see them? Rah, 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 rah. We need to go and uprise. Rah, 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 rah. I'm so angry. Roman government. This is the real. You see the love and the peace and the joy? Paul, Peter, John, in love, operating in the fruits of the Spirit. Not supposed to be this, supposed to be this. A call for an uprising, us. Lost carnal Christians, Spirit-filled Christians. Do you see the difference? If some of you are these guys over here, and you think that's good, to get all enraged, useless, you're useless to the kingdom, you've lost your way. Take a moment, get off the internet, stop with the anger, uprise, I need to uprise. Ooh.
Says that I'm not a real Christian. Says that we should defend the fake Jesus guy who's begging for money. I mean, this guy is completely lost. But he didn't learn his lesson because he brought me up again. And I told him last time. I took the video down I did on him. I said, go your own way. And I even as recently as like a year ago felt bad for Mario when he took his channel down, that I actually reached out to him and forgave him for all the slanderous stuff he said about me. And said, look, you know, I've got ways that I get around the algorithm. I can help, because he was crying about his channel being destroyed. And I thought, I fell for it. I literally thought maybe he really cared about his work and stuff like that. But it really turned out it was all about the money. And that's why he doesn't do exposed videos, and he attacks people who expose because he knows you can't get monetized doing it. So now he's a preacher, right? He's a minister. Well, when you see some of the things that this guy's up to, and I can't show you everything, but long story short, as I show you the stuff that he says about me and kicking me, recently, and I don't get into people's personal lives, but if you're trying to be a minister and you're targeting children, and then you're saying people like me aren't real Christians and our fruit smells and we don't have any fruit, but he does, I find it pretty ridiculous when you have to do a video about catfishing, talking about how, I guess somebody catfished him. I don't even know how this stuff works. Somebody pretended to be a girl, it was really a guy or something, and Mario was sending nude photos of himself. Now, I would never get into any of that type of stuff, but there was a really, raised some eyebrows, let alone the fact that, well, if he's going to sit here and call me out for being angry and passionate and say that I don't have any fruits, which you'll hear in a minute, the guy's got a lot of nerve when he's, within the last month, sending out messages of his private parts to girls. And then also, here's the disturbing part, having photos on his phone of other guys naked. You shouldn't be ministering, Mario. Let's make it clear. You shouldn't be ministering or going near children. You have problems, serious problems. Me raising my voice is not a problem. He likes to say I curse all the time. I cursed in one video and I let everyone know beforehand that I was going to let loose. Okay? I don't curse in my videos, and everyone who watches my channel knows it. Now, some of you will actually say, who is the vigilant Christian? Because that's how irrelevant he's become. While others will say, oh my gosh, this guy's at it again. He needs prayer. And I'm not saying that to try to be, he needs prayer. He's got problems. When you hear him talk in the video clips I'm going to play, you'll see how prideful this guy is. He's a narcissistic prick. He bullies his own subscribers. He thinks that he is like some almighty. You could see even behind him, he's got his YouTube plaque on the wall. Prideful of his YouTube plaque. Prideful of, for Mario, it's always been about popularity and subscribers. Never been about it for me. So Mario has a bone to pick with me all the time because my channel grew. And he thinks it grew because I yell and scream. So then Mario tries to yell and scream in his videos. And he's like, that's all he thinks about is this stuff. That's all he thinks about. And then he comes on and he sings. It's cringeworthy. The one word to describe Mario is cringe. His channel is cringe. He is cringe. Like when I was growing up, kids like this in school, listen to some of the stuff that he talks about. He's always talking about how he was the coolest kid in school and he would count how many girls he slept with. This is real loser behavior. This is douchery behavior where I'm from. And these kids who project and they're like, Mario projects and he's like, I was the coolest kid. And you weren't the coolest kid, Mario. Let's be realistic. You were not cool at all. You're still not. Because every time any of us watch you, we cringe. But Mario's had so much time now kicking other Christians on YouTube and stuff and talking about how they don't do the right thing and he does. Then Mario says he's not going to do conspiratainment. But then when Mario's got to pay his bills, suddenly Mario's making videos about Christian Bale and about all these things again. Why? And he has to go and project in the beginning of his videos and deflect and say, well, I said I wouldn't do evil stuff, but it is good to know because Mario needs money, right? And I don't have a problem if he makes those types of videos, but I have a problem with a guy who's a minister who lies and lies and lies, or claims to be, especially one who targets kids and hangs around kids. Mario goes out of his way to hang out with other people's kids. With this kind of behavior, with the sexual stuff, very disturbing. Okay? Not even the fact that you're sending these pictures to girls and who knows who else. You shouldn't be around kids if you have photos on your phone of yourself like that or some other guy. So in other words, he had this group, the Godly Brothers, and I learned all this stuff afterwards. Mario thinks like everyone who's on YouTube is like a fan of his and started their channel. I never liked Mario. I never found any information useful on his channel. I always looked at him and cringed. But just like everybody else, I get sucked in sometimes when you see somebody crying so much, like you feel for him. It's hard not to, right? When somebody cries. I didn't feel when I saw the fake Jesus guy cry, but a few times I've gotten sucked in with Mario because you could tell that he's truly lost and he's truly broken. Nobody cries that much unless they're broken. He's not crying because he's so thankful of Jesus. He even talks in his last video about how he was yelling at God because some girl didn't like him. Who yells at God? Yelling at her because a girl doesn't like you? You've got problems. You shouldn't be trying to teach people about addiction when you admit you have addictions. And that's not a shot at you for having them. We all have problems. And I'm not going to go into whatever yours might be. But for you to sit there and say stuff, like listen to the stuff that he says and then watch him deflect. I'm angry. Anyone who follows my channel, calling for an uprising. They're awful Christians. Their fruits smell. Listen to the bitterness in this guy's voice and the nerve he has. The nerve he has after I even let the beef go and I actually reached out to him to try to help when he was crying in his kitchen, laying on the floor, feeling bad for this guy. I am never feeling sympathy for this guy again. This guy is not a good person. Okay? He's not loyal. When you meet somebody who has a tough time keeping friends, there's something wrong with them. Something seriously wrong with them. Because it means that they're just weird. And, people have talked about me and Richie from Boston. Like, I never met him. Creepily, he always wanted to meet me and stuff like that. But I'm not going to take a kick on him now. But I'm just saying, one of the reasons that I did videos on him and stuff like that is because he was somebody who reached out to me and we were supposed to be friends. And then he just suddenly started... I shouldn't say friends, friendly with each other. And he just like a snake just started taking shots and stuff at me. And, I can't stand people who aren't loyal and people who constantly, lose friends. It's a characteristic of somebody who isn't loyal, who isn't stable. Okay? So here's Mario talking about you, the subscribers of my channel. Talking about how none of you are real Christians, how he actually says that the fake Jesus guy, he doesn't care that he's blaspheming Jesus. He could care less. I mean, huh? You could care less that somebody's dressing as Jesus, influencing kids to think that he's the real Jesus Christ, and then him giving lectures to people on the Bible, telling them that sin is okay and to accept all these things that we're not supposed to accept. I mean, great example, Mario. Great job. But Mario's pride gets in the way because that's all it's about. Because somebody in the chat says something along the lines that I'm a badass, which, whatever. You can say what you want. I mean, that's just kind of stupid to say anyway. But it bothers Mario so much because Mario tries to portray this bad boy thing. Like he says it in like every video. Like, I was the bad boy. Mario, you weren't ever a bad boy. I mean, you might have been a bad person, but you were never like the cool guy that you try to present. Everybody who's ever seen you knows that. Everybody who is Christian in this community, whether they have channels or not, looks at you and cringes. You know, that video, the picture I was supposed to up in his thumbnails with his like head on his forehand or whatever, on his hand. Like, that's how people respond to everything Mario does. You know, every week it's something new. He flip-flops, he changes. Oh, he's changing his life. Now he's a minister. Now he's not going to be a pastor. Now he's going to Bible school, right? And the people listening don't have a clue because they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. They don't know about how there's no money anymore and monetize, truther channels. So Mario's decided to stab all the people, I shouldn't say stab in the back, but talk crap about anyone who exposes anything now because he's decided he's not doing it because he's so much above all that. Meanwhile, he's got pictures of godly brothers' penises on his phone. So listen to him and project and tell me that this isn't somebody that's got problems.
Just you being there. Kelly, Stefan's awesome for sure. Amen. Ambassadors for Christ. Exactly. We represent him everywhere we go. Okay, thanks for bringing that up there, Rosalinda. I can't stress that enough. We're ambassadors. Do you know what that means? Okay, so I'm Canadian, and if Canada was going to send me to your country, I would as an ambassador, I would be representing my nation. And so it is my responsibility as an ambassador to represent Canada. So we are ambassadors of the kingdom of God, of Jesus himself. Hold up a second here, okay? Do you realize how serious that is? We're ambassadors of Christ. Pause and reflect on yourself. Do I represent him well? Do I? Am I being a good ambassador for Jesus? Or am I'm constantly angry, frustrated? How do you know? Produce the fruit of the Spirit: gentleness, love, compassion, kindness, meekness, humbleness, taming of the tongue, letting only good, edifying, uplifting speech come out of your mouth as is commanded by the Bible.
At the same time, yes, boss, I'll be your little sex slave. Yes, babe, we'll take turns running a train. How is this Christian? This man's supposed to be a leader. Okay, he's got his own cult. Now that's what I'm talking about. Play with my cock, thinking about you, licking you, the base slow. Oh my goodness gracious, it's pornography. Your roommate gives you his 9 inches while I'm doing it. No, I guess trying to say it. It's trying to fish, I guess, for him being homosexual. Which, if he's got pictures of his buddy's ding dong on his phone, then that's pretty much yep.
Oh yeah, because this is a great ambassador for Christ. Spending your evenings sending out your genitalia and taking photos of your friends' crotches. Yeah, that's real. Yep, you're right. I'm wrong. I shouldn't raise my voice and get mad when someone's pretending to be Jesus, teaching the opposite of the Bible, which we're supposed to rebuke. But you're right, and you're actually showing the good fruits because you're showing your, well, let's just be honest, little fruits. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, Mario. So I don't have the fruits. I'm not a good Christian, right? You got a lot of balls saying something like that, Mario. A lot. You don't know anything about me. Okay? You don't know a thing about me. I don't, I'm not in all my thumbnails. I don't put my face out there because I don't seek fame and attention like you do. We've all seen the videos of all the stuff you say. You want to hit 1 million subs. Oh, you're going to do something, all the money you want to make. I mean, all of this kind of stuff just shows your character and what kind of person you are. A horrible person. A snake, right? A snake. And that's fine. I mean, I don't consider you a friend. I never did. Well, you're one of the worst things that ever happened to my channel, because when I started my channel and I was working really hard, so many people got turned off because you wouldn't stop kissing my rear end in your videos. Oh, a call for an uprising. I recommend him. Oh, and now he doesn't recommend me because I told everybody that we weren't friends, that I don't want you mentioning my channel, and he still does it anyway. Oh, call for an, whatever Mario can do to get the attention of Mario. Well, now the attention's on you, Mario. Your channel's already died off. Your credibility's gone. I don't know what you think you're going to do ministering and doing this stuff, but you talk about people focusing on God and how they're filthy tongues. I mean, go through the text messages that you're sending people. That's not filthy tongues? And then you're telling me, right, we're going to hear the whole side of it from Mario. It doesn't matter. This video is only staying up for temporary time because I'm going to let Mario strike it down like a baby. But this guy is not suitable and fit to be teaching children anything and shouldn't be around him. Okay? The faith family and all this stuff. This reminds me, this is the 80s evangelical crap that I always tell people about to stay away from. Right? Mario preaches love. Love, love, love. Even though he's a filthy person in real life, he preaches love. He comes from the New Age background. Okay, I've said it 1 million times. How long I've had Christ in my life. I was born again at a young age, but I grew up, in a household that I was read the Bible. Okay, and just because I'm pissed off and I yell doesn't mean that I don't have the Holy Spirit. Because Mario cries in his video, he thinks that it means that he has the Holy Spirit, that he's a great person. Right? He's preaching all of the things that are going to lead Christians to the Antichrist. He's preaching universal love. He does videos talking about how he was possessed by 30 demons. I don't know how you can keep track of each individual one without, obviously, you let them in your body. And I'll guarantee you, they're still there, Mario. They're still there because you could see the flip-flopping, the bizarre behavior. You still have it. You need to go take care of yourself and go away. Okay? Don't reach out to me. Don't try to be my friend like you always try to do. All right? Just stay away from children. Stay away from trying to present yourself as a Christian minister when you do stuff like that stupidly. And listen, people will say, well, we all make mistakes. Mario will come back and will say, we all sin. I've told everyone my sin's lust. I get all that stuff. But you're sitting here on the internet saying that you're a minister and you don't have the common discernment or sense to maybe not message out pictures of your penis to people. And answer the question of why you have a picture of another guy naked on there. I mean, I want to throw up. Another guy. Why in the world would you be taking pictures of your friends' penises? Your friends. Oh, man. Which clearly tells me that you're not even fully a straight male, which is another reason you shouldn't be teaching. Because clearly, when you talk about lust and all this stuff, it ain't just women. I'll tell you right now, if I ever saw my friend's junk, I'd probably light myself on fire. Let alone, have my friend's junk where, they're fully aroused, where it's clearly, done on purpose, Not like if you walked into a stall and saw somebody on accident. I mean, you photographed it. That's just sick behavior. Sick. Okay? So before you throw stones at people and try to say, I don't know why anyone listens to a call. This guy's got problems. He's got anger issues. Oh, yeah, I do? Because I get pissed that a guy's pretending to be Jesus and make money? Because I get pissed that there's comic books about the second coming that are going to teach kids a different gospel? And then you're over there playing air guitar, cringing the crap out of everybody. Look at him, crying and singing. I mean, he doesn't know what planet he's on, I'm pretty sure, at this point. And none of this ministry he's going to have is going to be successful anyway. Because he's just not good. Who doesn't listen to him talk and say, this guy has got problems? Because he does. Pride. The worst sin to have. Mario's ultimate sin. He is obsessed with himself. He's obsessed with being number one and all that stuff. You ever hear him deflect about how he started the Truther movement and now there's all these other people and he's always hinting at channels like mine? You didn't start anything. Just because you were here first doesn't mean I wasn't doing stuff off of YouTube or anything like that. And even if you were here first, clearly, you showed your hand and you're not giving valuable information anymore. And nobody cares because you've turned it into a channel about you. That's why you're in every thumbnail making creepy faces, making everyone cringe. Because you want it to be about you. Well, I don't want it to be about me, okay? This channel has helped a lot of people wake up. And I don't take it lightly, what I do and what I say. And I think things through. And even when I scream and curse in some videos, I do regret it. But I know, and I could say before, and I know I'm going to do it because I know I'm going to lose my cool. I know what my faults are. Mario has no self-awareness at all, which is like one of the things in life. You cannot be a minister if you have no self-awareness. I mean, he's got people, the way he treats his subscribers is just like, mods, where are you? Where are you? Like we're sitting here watching a guy like the Pope.
Yeah, that's a troll there. Come on, get him out. Married lady mama. Come on, guys, faster. Troll. Come on, mods. Aaron did not get notified. No one's getting notified of tonight's broadcast, man. No one. Okay, troll. Yo, mods. Come on. You see married lady mama girl? Okay? That should have been blocked. Like, come on. I put you... Can we get on it? I need to get the mods on point, and you guys need to do it so I can get focused. Okay, so there's one. Guys, block it. I don't want to block it. I want to see how fast you guys are. Come on. Yo, mods. What's wrong with you guys? I just made 4 of you mods. None of you can go and block Wendy? Click the button. Okay, I need some mods that are actually going to be able to moderate the room. Sword for Truth, can you get on it? Can some of you actually moderate? Sorry to get irritated, but like 6 of you now. Okay? And the trolls are still roaming. Like, how many people do I have to make moderators? Come on, guys. Get on it so I can get focused.
Right? There's someone, like, and everyone's just like bowing down to me. I mean, that's sick behavior. On my channel, I don't want anyone kissing my rear end. I appreciate when people say nice stuff. I try to remind you all the time. Don't look at me any different than you look at a friend. Don't be like, oh my gosh, and I want to meet you. No, you don't. Why would you? I'm not, you're not supposed to worship false idols or worship anyone in general. Right? I'm not saying I'm a false. I'm not anything. I'm a YouTuber. But you're not supposed to look up and want to be like. Just the channel helps. It helps us all vent and communicate and figure things out, and that's what's important most, right? Mario's channel. It's about worshiping Mario, and that's what this is all about. This is going to be like some type of bizarre cult, and I don't even want to get into his parent connections to Central Intelligence and all that, which people have said because I can only speculate. I don't know. All I know is that ever since I stepped foot on YouTube, I've known that this guy is not a good person. Dealing with him, talking to him, seeing how he is, and he could say the same thing about me. That's fine. But when somebody goes out and takes shots and does that stuff, and takes shots at you and your faith and how you act, and says, oh, if you want to be in that group, you're not a real Christian and you're not hot in your faith. You're cold in your faith. I mean, cold in my faith because I'm pissed off about some of this stuff. Meanwhile, you're spending your spare time, taking pictures of godly brothers' genitals. Okay? I mean, this is sick. So I don't want to get into it any further. But after I saw this, I'm just like, I've had enough of this guy. I've had enough of this guy and his mouth, because I've warned him before and I told him to stop. And he's like, oh yeah, I got heated and I apologize too. And I let it go because I do let grudges go with people. If you know what I mean? Like Zachary Hubbard, any of these guys. Like, I mean, I let it go over time. Like, and I let it go pretty quick with him because I knew that he was struggling with himself, right? But I don't believe for 1 second that he truly believes, especially based on the stuff he says. He's praying to God. He's yelling at God. I want this girl to love me. That's more like, magic, like just doing spells, begging God for a girl to love you. I've lost money. I've lost loved ones tragically. I'm not sitting there damning God. This is the way it goes. And over like a girl you just meet who's not sure about you, you yell at God. That's a great and this is like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right? So it shows you where he's at in his walk. This isn't like, the day he woke up or when he was 15 and a kid. He's a 30-something child lingering around. So Mario, I think it's just in your best interest to just go. Just go. You said 1 million times you're leaving YouTube. 1 trillion times. The only reason we all know you keep coming back is for money. And I don't care if you, need to make money and you do that. But just stop talking then. Stop running your mouth and focus on your own content. Stop going back and forth and flip-flop and saying, conspiratainment, it's such crap. And none of those people have the Holy Spirit because they're focusing on evil. And you're like sitting around taking pictures of other people's nards. And you want to tell me, what I should focus on. You want to lecture people on how to be a better Christian when you're not a good one at all. Because you've already proven you're not a good person. You can't be a friend to people. You can't fellowship with people. You can't take criticism. You definitely can't be rebuked. I mean, so many people on here have tried and you just piss on them and spit away and go, get away from me. Because everybody sees that you're not in a position to be trying to lecture people. You got popular on YouTube and you took it to sick heights. Mentally, not with your channel. Your channel's dead now, right? So you said you were going to retire and you were going to go over to some other channel. I don't know if it was DTube, something that was awful and didn't work, and you came back. Maybe this time just go. Just go. And stop flip-flopping on stuff and focus on whatever it is you're going to do and stop being a baby. Because that's what you are, a giant crybaby that everyone's sick of. Sick of you embarrassing Christians. Because you do. He sits there and he's like, channels like this embarrass Christianity. What does channels like his do then? Crying and singing Kumbaya, a guy who admits to being coming from the New Age, who thinks he never flipped away from New Age. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to see it and how he acts and behaves. And I never said for the fake Jesus Christ guy, we shouldn't pray for him and stuff like that. I said, this is how it works, right? This is God's retribution. This is what happens, right? God will not be mocked. I didn't say don't pray for him and kick him while he's down. But I said, you lose custody of your kids. It's not a huge thing. Because clearly if you don't know the guy's backstory, what he lost custody for, who knows what he did. So you shouldn't even be involved in citing. If he was like, I've gotten lung cancer and I can't get the surgery, and he shows you all the documentation, I wouldn't do a video. It's the stupidest thing is why. But other than the fact that he mocks Jesus every day, and guys like Mary are like, I don't care if he's blasphemous. He needs me. He needs our help. I'm going to do a video to lift him up. Then go back to your New Age crap and go lift him up with your garbage. Go sing to him. Then you can go stab him in the back later on when he doesn't mention you in his videos and you want to be mentioned and get a shout out because he's rubbing shoulders with Pootie Pie, because that's really what you care about. It's embarrassing and it's disgraceful. This video is not staying up for a long period of time because I'm not dealing with strikes and stuff like that. This is not bullying him. This is what Mario would call a video response, a VR, right? He does these like video responses to these celebrities like they're like they know him or something. I mean, it's just like, what is this guy doing? Please just stay away, Mario, and stop mentioning people like me. And please stay away from kids until you get help. And don't try to mentor people with addiction because you still got it. And lust is an addiction. And any man can understand that. Any woman can probably understand it, right? But you brush it off. You're like, it's just lust. It's not a big deal. Well, when you're ministering and you're so unself-aware that you're sending out pictures of your schlong to people and some other men's, and you're talking about three-ways and stuff, and then a couple of days later, you're like, I'm with somebody. I don't even want to kiss them till right. I mean, who's buying it? Give me a break, Mario. Give me a break.